Hello and welcome to another video of Jacob's World. Today we are here at Forest Lawn in Hollywood. Forest Lawn, there's actually 6 of them. I didn't know that, but there's actually 6 Forest Lawns here. This one here is actually the second oldest one. The first one built was in Glendale, California, and this one here is the second oldest one. And it's in the city of Hollywood, and there's over 100,000 graves here at this particular cemetery here. The cemetery is located, if you do plan to visit the cemetery, located at 6300 Forest Lawn Drive in Los Angeles, California. It's actually pretty close to Griffith Park, which is just down the street. And like I said, there's 6 Forest Lawns. This particular one here was opened March 4th, 1952, and it's actually about 119,216 graves here at this particular cemetery. So it's a pretty neat area. It's surrounded by mountains. The first famous gravesite that shows up here in the beginning of the cemetery is that of Ruth Elizabeth Davis, better known as Betty Davis. Betty Davis was born in Massachusetts and died at the age of 81 in France. She was visiting overseas. She was supposed to come back here to United States, but was too ill to make the trip over to the U.S. So she had actually flown to France, died there in France from cancer. Betty Davis did move to California when she was just 22 years old, and she was in movies for over 50 years. And over 100 acting credits. She did win 2 Academy Awards and was nominated for 10 Academy Awards. And a couple of the movies that she was most famous for were All About Eve, which was made in 1950, and Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, which was made in 1962, which starred her co-star Joan Crawford. Davis became the first person to earn 5 consecutive Academy Award nominations for acting. Another famous, or 2 famous celebrities, is Debbie Reynolds and her daughter Carrie Fisher. They're buried together here. One thing I didn't know, Carrie Fisher had actually died before her mother back in 2016. The thing that I didn't know is that, as you see, Carrie died December 27, 2016. Her mother, Debbie Reynolds, died the next day. She had a stroke, Debbie did, and they say that she died of that she was heartbroken. And so word is that she had told, I guess, some of her family members that she wanted to be with Carrie, and she missed Carrie, and she just happened to die the next day. So they're both buried here together. They were very close, is what I heard. So I could see why maybe she was heartbroken. Carrie Fisher, of course, was famous for all the Star Wars movies. She was Princess Leia. And she was also in Blues Brothers. She was 60 years old. She had died of cardiac arrest. And Debbie Reynolds, her mother, was famous for the movie Singing in the Rain. She also had her own show, the Debbie Reynolds Show, in 1969. So they're both buried here together. Another famous actress who died just recently, 2020, is Naya Rivera. She was best known for the TV show. She was in Glee. She had actually died of an accidental drowning. She was with her 4-year-old son at the time, and they did find her son on the boat that she had rented, and they did find Rivera's body a couple of days later, and they had found her dead from drowning. So, didn't realize that this actress was buried here. So, I was walking along and I accidentally found it, and so I thought I'd just mention her. Died 33 years old, pretty young. Here's another famous actress, Sandra D, best known for the movie Gidget. She died from kidney failure, 2005. She was married to Bobby Darin, musician. She's buried right here next to Naya Rivera. One of the most famous musicians is also buried here at Forest Lawn, Liberace, who had performed a lot in Las Vegas. Liberace was diagnosed HIV positive August 1985 by his physician. He lived with HIV for approximately 18 months before his death. Liberace died of pneumonia caused by AIDS on the morning of February 4th, 1987 at one of his homes in Palm Springs, California. He was 67 years old at the time of his death. Liberace is buried or entombed here with his mother and brother. Liberace has been recognized during his career. He has 2 Emmy Awards, 6 gold albums. He also has 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He had a book released, and he also appeared at the Radio City Music Hall during his time, where he had, it's stated, 56 sold-out shows. So he also had a museum and restaurant in Las Vegas. The museum was open for about 31 years before it closed. And also his restaurant in Las Vegas also closed in it says 2011. The next gravesite happens to be probably the most famous visited gravesite in the whole cemetery, and that is of actor Paul Walker, best known for his role in the Fast and Furious movies. Paul was killed tragically in a car accident, which happened November 30th, 2013. Paul was just 40 years old at the time of his death. Right here, there's actually 4 bodies that can be buried here. Paul is the only one that's currently buried here in this area. So, but he can have, there's 3 other bodies that can be buried here. Probably for his family members, whoever passes can also be buried in the same area. Paul was in the city of Valencia, a neighborhood of Santa Clarita, California, when he had crashed into a lamppost and two trees. The car did catch fire. It is said that Paul had died from trauma and also from burns. Both the bodies, he was in the car with one of his friends. It said both bodies were burned beyond recognition. Paul did have a number of the cars that were in Fast and Furious he actually owned after the movie was over on some of these movies. Paul is also in numerous other movies, one of them called Joyride, which is one of my favorites, actually. He was also in some TV shows, Young and the Restless. Who's the Boss was another one that he also was in. So this is Paul Walker. He was also in the movie called Into the Blue, Timeline, Flags of Our Fathers, and Eight Below. There are a few other famous burials here at Forest Lawn. One of them being that of John Ritter, who was most famous in Three's Company, is buried here. Another famous comedian who's buried here is Stan Laurel from Laurel and Hardy, also buried here, and a few other famous burials. Want to thank you, though, for watching today's video. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and we will see you on the next video.